100%.
100%. If I wanted to learn how to become a successful man, I'd go to Rollo before going to SNEAKO or Destiny. Two grown-ass men who argue like teenage boys.
All right, so a 55-year-old guy calling us douche nozzles to someone who's like 3 times younger, that's a mature way to argue?
Damn.
If that's your idea, then okay.
Wow. Shots fired.
That's just what happened on the show.
This is a great debation.
Do you have anything to say? Like you called in.
Great debation. Where can they find y'all?
I mean, they know where to find. We plugged them out.
Go back to Twitch. There's some advice for you. That's some real advice for you guys. You guys have no business fucking being in any of this shit right here. You're not ready to have a fucking adult conversation. Everything.
I've seen you chatting more than any other name in the chats. I re-chat like whenever I stream, which is when I'm online, and you're in there more than me.
True.
So calling us Twitch, actually, I'm banned on there. I'm on Rumble, but yeah, if you want to pull the online card, then maybe get off the internet a little bit and chatting all day. Douche nozzle.
It's a lot harder when it's not just like 22-year-old women being ganged up on a podcast, huh? I'm sorry, Rollo.
No, I'll be happy to fucking debate you, dude. On any topic you want.
We are right now.
We just did.
No, you're talking about this one fucking tweet is what you're talking about.
Well, we were talking to the godfather of Red Pill trying to.
Yeah, and speaking of fucking tweets, or excuse me, speaking of fucking super chats, was that not you on whatever podcast the other night?
Yeah, I like to support people that go on to have a podcast.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you for at least admitting it.
Those are the only 2 super chats I've sent in my life. If I'm watching content and I want to know if it's Red Pill or not,
seems like you're watching a lot more than you think you are.
Program I've ever been on. It's insane. You should get a tax credit for like watching me.
Bro, do you have anything to say? Why are you staring like that, man? Okay. I thought you'd have a rap.
No, you guys. Let's see. Here's the thing: is you guys. First of all, I've thrown out this
player in his car after the show.
First of all, this challenge. If you guys want to come to Vegas, come to Vegas. We'll sit across the table from each other.
Oh, build up your fucking dog shit podcast. What are you talking about? Come to Miami.
I am coming to Miami
next week.
Oh, cool.
You hope you're here next week.
You guys are so mean, man.
Yeah, bro, I didn't even say. What do you mean we're mean? He called us douche nozzles. Oh, it's fine. He's the grand wizard of Red Pill, so I can't go say anything about that. But I'm mean now because I'm calling him irrational for not having any arguments at all. Bro, I know you want to defend him because the book is here on the table, but like, bro, that made no sense.
You guys have not read the book. You guys don't know what the fuck
I'm not reading your book, bro. You can't even define what high value man is. Why would I read a book from a guy who can't have a clear definition?
You read the book.
I'm not even gonna go there. I'm fucking for the last half hour. I've been trying to explain to you this shit to you. You guys have no business being in this fucking sphere to begin with. First of all.
Okay.
Second of all,
forever until you're 65.
Second of all, and the reason why is because you devolve into. You want to know why? Like when we talk, nobody debates anymore. You know why? Because it devolves into this middle school bullshit that both of you are. But you guys are perfect. Yes, you guys should marry each other.
You can't call this childish when you were the one who started insulting. I would just ask you a question, and then you said douche nozzle. True. Now you're gonna go play the maturity card.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna play the maturity card.
That was a middle school argument. All right. I mean, this is not going anywhere.
This was a great debate. Debation.
Well, I mean, it's very obvious that everyone here has different takes, which is great. I think that's good.
I'm not sure what his take is still.
But that's cool. It's different than ours. We know that.
You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Is there anything else, Chris? Or
let's see. Nope, we're good.
All right. Bro,
smash that like button
that you want to say before we
say I'll be there next week.
All right, cool. Well, I think we'll have him on the 15th.
Let's do a boxing match. Just kidding.
All right. Rollo, thanks for coming on, bro.
Thanks, Rollo.
Take it easy, man. Okay, so let's see here. We're caught up, Chris, on your end?
Bro, that's a goofy Godfather, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Ooh. I mean, like that shit was goofy.
Careful.
You can't. I know you really want to defend him, and mine right now, I know you're probably like, no,
it's not that. We all have different takes on it, which is fine.
Okay, but he did get triggered immediately. For someone who called himself the rational man, that was no rational arguments were made. He got emotional. He got triggered immediately. He started cursing. That was not like an example of good masculinity.
What do you do?
I tried to engage and I asked him specific questions.
I mean,
you also made
when did I insult him?
Multiple times.
Yeah, but it was after he started. If he's going to start, of course you're going to follow up, right?
Well, you attacked him the prior show, so just to be fair,
I'm pretty sure
you did.
What'd I say?
Say that his comments were like asinine. They didn't make sense.
That's not insulting. That's going at his advice. I'm talking about his argument.
And then you said the man I made the comments is. I'm just saying. Look, ultimately, we both did the same thing.
That's not true.
If you think about it.
That's just not true.
Talking shit about somebody's arguments is a lot less serious.
Than calling you a douche nozzle. I didn't call him a douche nozzle.
Come on, you got me. It was kind of funny.
Douche nozzle.
Okay.
I personally wouldn't tolerate that type of disrespect, but you know.
I said there aren't high value men and there aren't high value women. Okay, it just depends on who we're talking about.
I don't know what the hell he's talking about, bro.
In the context.
Like, I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about.
I get what you're saying, but
I feel like I need to do mushrooms before I come on the show. That's what it feels like. The kind of conversation
We
we're
are
having right now.
No. You know what it is, Destiny? Is you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's why.
On any of this, and I'm surprised because you write about this all the time. You wrote a whole book about it. People they really respected, and I have no idea.
You guys might be confused because I'm the one that says there's no such thing as a high value woman. A woman that's a woman gets her value directly from a man that she gets in a relationship with, because all women have value, but not all men have value.
All women don't have the same value.
Well,
don't even think about it. You know that's not true. If I give you a woman with 100 bodies and a woman with 0 bodies, if I give you one that's 500 pounds, if I give you one with 5 kids, so
here's my thing. Okay, here's my thing, because I've said this before.
I know men must become and women are. I know you're about to do this speech.
No,
but I'm just saying there are some women that are better than others.
I wasn't going to say that. Of course, of course. But all women have value to some level, but not all men have value because men have to build their shit up. So what I'm saying is that a high value woman
That's not even true.
A high value woman gets her value from being with a high value man.
I don't even think that's true. All men have value to some extent.
The metric of success for a female is being able to get the best man that they can get.
And men can build and do things. In places like China, where you're limited to the amount of children, what do? They opt for boys because they can go out and work and fucking get jobs and shit and do things around the fucking house or whatever, right?
Yeah, the fucking 1980s. The one child policy hasn't been around since the mid 90s, dude.
Sure, but when it was grossly favoring the birth of boys because you could do more with boys than you could with women. Just the idea that like
that was the perception until now they're facing the consequences of that.
Well, so is Japan. That's a super homogenous.
That's one situation. Okay, you're using China, but let's be honest here. Why does it say women and children off the boat first, not men? Women have always had. No, yeah, it's a chivalry thing, but why is that? Because if you have 100 women and one guy, you can still continue society. But if you have 100 men and one woman, we're fucked.
Women are the vulnerable sex and men are the disposable sex. That's why.
Women have value inherently. So what I'm saying is this: since every woman has value, for a woman to be high value, she's got to be able to lock down a high value guy. There's a reason why women take a man's last name and not the other way around. Women, when they meet each other and hug, the first thing they ask typically is, "Oh, do you have a man? Do you have a relationship? Tell me about your kids, etc." When two men meet, what do? Shake hands. What do you do for a living? Men are judged on creating value. Women are judged on creating children, typically. Now, are there some women out there that chase success and making money, whatever? Sure, but that is not the main goal of a female. The main goal of a female from a biological sense is to procreate. For a woman to procreate, she's got to be with a man. Typically, they want the best guy. For a man to procreate, he's got to create excess resources to be able to attract that woman. So what we bring to the table is different. And what I would argue,
I don't disagree with any of that, but there are high value women, and there probably are high value men.
I think a woman's only high value if she could lock down a high value guy. That's my take.
Okay, well at least you have a definition.
That's my definition on it. Which again, I see all of us here at the table have different opinions, which is great. But that's my take on it. Like with a high value man, a high value woman.
No. I mean, what you want me to say is a woman who has a low body count, who is a girl from the Amish Dutch country in Pennsylvania, who's never known another man, doesn't have any social media. I mean, there's a lot of ways we can go with this, but again, it's those are ideals. Okay,
yeah, the other ideals are important because ideals are what we strive for. An ideal is the whole.
And those ideals are also what lead us astray, which is why this list is fucking useful. That's why.
Lead us astray. Ideals lead you into a better life. That's the whole point of an ideal. It's the best version of yourself. You're never going to be the best version of yourself, but the path to being the best version of yourself.
Every guy who ever thought he found his fucking soulmate, who ended up on the opposite side of the fucking divorce table from her, had a fucking ideal about that woman.
Sure, and every man that dies happily surrounded by his family who had a long.
Oh, yes, I know the pastoral scene with everybody. We're surrounded by his family. You know what? You know that like 90% of the population of the United States doesn't die like that. They actually die in assisted living, and nobody knows about it until the next morning.
Okay, as opposed to you, who was tweeting about dying in his motorbike in an accident. Okay, dude.
You said you wanted some black
metal. That is a fucking fantasy.
Let me hit these chats real fast.
We got another show coming up.
Yeah, we got another show coming up. I'm gonna go through this real fast. All right, so we got Kid Blue RB goes, Rollo dodging the defining a high value man is like the LGBT dodging what a woman is. Feels like I'm watching Matt Walsh's documentary right now. You're the grandmaster of RP. You out of all people should be able to define what a high value man is.
He can't define high value male, but he can define us as douche nozzles.
All right, let me.
That's pretty funny though.
Microsheet says, Myron, you're my guy, but you're giving Rollo an out. Let him stand on the chair he's standing on so he can continue to hang himself with his food.
I know you really want to defend him because
here's the thing.
I know you base a lot of the show around that book, but like, bro, he's making absolutely no sense.
Here's the thing. everyone is interpreting it different. Obviously, I have my take on it. Rollo has his take.
He doesn't
Fresh has
have a
his
take, bro.
We all have different takes on
He
this.
doesn't have a take.
That's still a take.
That's still a take, though.
That's still a take.
Okay.
It is.
If this was some LGBT shit or some woman shit, we would be all laughing and roasting the fight. Rightfully so.
Yes.
If a woman came on and we were like, what makes a woman high value? And she's like, well, if she's in her moment and if she's girl bossing it up as hard as she can, that's a high value woman. Like we would be roasting.
That's the
fuck out
same
of her.
argument he's making right
Not
now.
what I'm saying. That's not it's fucking apples and oranges. That's the problem with all this shit. Is like you don't even fucking understand the nature of the tweet. That's why.
Because I'm asking you a specific question, you can't answer it. Ask if it's advice. It's not. It's a joke. It's not.
The minute, okay, okay, here's the thing. Here's a high value. Let me give you a high value man. A high value man goes and fucks as many chicks as he possibly can, as many women as possible, and he fucking finds one little needle in the haystack, and he wipes up that girl because she happens to have no body count. She's like 100% in love with him, and I can go and rattle off all these extremes, and you know who's going to disagree with me? Every fucking guy in fucking Daily Wire is going to disagree.
Say what you really think. Don't say it ironically. Say what you believe.
What I'm saying is what I believe here, okay? This is the whole thing. It's the point of the fucking tweet is that it's your fucking definition of what it is.
You keep saying that, but when you said Ben Shapiro, you said Ben Shapiro's not a high value man. So you must be comparing him to some standard in your head. You said Bezos is not a high value man. You said Elon Musk is not a high value man. So there's some standard in your head that you're comparing these guys to that they're not matching up to. What is that standard?
Right. Well, all you would have to do is look at their personal lives so you would understand this. Again, do I have time to go and enumerate all that? No, I don't. But if you go and you look at what they're doing, like look, let's just use Elon Musk for a second here.
Yeah, let's use Ben Shapiro. That was a good example. Ben Shapiro.
We can look at Ben Shapiro. How did he meet his wife? Do you know how he met his wife?
Did they grow up
arranged, right?
Was it an arranged or family friends? I don't know.
No, basically what Ben Shapiro did was he wore this chick down over the course of God knows like 3 or 4 months, right? He would meet the definition of stalking and being a creeper if he wasn't Ben Shapiro, right? If he didn't have his background in who he was.
3 to 4 months. What does that mean?
Basically,
what it means is he wore her down is what he did. He's very proud of that fact too.
Okay, hold on real quick. You seem to have a problem with this. When somebody asks you what is X, and then you go, well, it's X, you're not really answering the question. You've done this like 3 times. When you say wore her down over 3 to 4 months, what does that mean? Did they date? Did he see her after school?
What that means is he was persistent. He just kept wearing her down over the course of time.
Bro, that's ridiculous, man.
I will send you the video. I will send you the video.
Okay. Jesus.